everybody, and welcome to today's video. Today we'll be reading Grandpa's Great Escape by David Williams. We're going to be doing Chapter 5 today. And also, if you like our videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. And turn on the bell to make sure that you're notified when all of our videos come out. Okay then, let's get started.
By the way, and subscribe.
Chapter 5, Loon in the Moon. The highest point in the town was in fact the church spire. It was something of a local landmark and could be seen for miles around. Jack had a hunch that Grandpa might have tried to climb up there. When he had gone missing before, he had often been found somewhere high up, atop a climbing frame, up a ladder, even once on the roof of a double-decker bus. It was as if he needed to touch the sky, as he had done all those years ago as an RAF pilot. As the church came into view, there was a distinct silhouette of a man sitting on top of the spire. He was perfectly framed by the glow and low silvery moon. From the moment, Jack saw his grandfather, and he knew exactly what the old man thought he was doing, flying his Spitfire. At the foot of the tall church was the short vicar. Reverend Hogg had a rather obvious comb-over. What his hair had left was dyed so black it was blue. His eyes were as small as penny coins, hidden behind black-framed glasses. The vicar's glasses rested on his upturned piggy nose, which he was forever sticking in the air so he could look down at people. Jack's family did not go to the church regularly, so the boy had only seen the vicar out and about in the local town. But once he had seen Reverend Hogg carrying a crate of expensive-looking champagne from the off-license. On another occasion, Jack could have sworn he saw the men cruising past a brand-new Lotus Spirit sports car, puffing on a big fat cigar. Weren't vikers meant to help the poor? Jack couldn't help wondering, not lavish money on themselves. This being in the middle of the night, Reverend Hogg was still wearing his bedclothes. The vicar's pajamas and dressing gown was made of the finest silk, and he was sporting a pair of red velvet slippers, which were monogrammed C of E for Church of England. Around his wrist was a chunky diamond-encrusted gold watch. He was clearly a man who had a taste for high life. "Get down from there," barked Reverend Hogg at the old man, just as the family ran for the graveyard. "It's my grandpa," shouted Jack once again, breathless from having pedaled so hard on the trike. Reverend Hogg reeked of cigars, and a smell the boy could not stomach, and instantly he felt a little queasy. "Well, what on earth is he doing on my church roof?" "I am sorry, Vicar," yelled Dad. "It's my father. He gets confused." "Then he should be under lock and key. He has already dislodged some of the lead off my roof." From behind the gravestones, a gang of rough-looking men appeared. They all had shaved heads, tattoos, and teeth missing. From their overalls and spades, Jack assumed they must be grave diggers, though it seemed strange that they were digging graves in the dead of night. One of the grave diggers had handed the vicar a torch, which shone straight in the old man's eyes. Come down this instant." Yet Grandpa did not respond. As usual, he was in a world of his own. "Rudder steady, holding on course, over," he said instead. It was clear that he did indeed believe he was high up in the skies, piloting his beloved Spitfire. "Wing commander to base, over," he went on. "What on earth is he talking about?" demanded Reverend Hogg, before muttering under his breath, "The man is a complete loon." One of the grave diggers, a big burly man with a skin head and a tattoo of the spiderweb on his neck, spoke up. "Shall I fetch your air rifle, Reverend? A few shots would scare him down in no time." His fellow gravediggers snickered at the thought. Air rifle! The boy needed to think fast if his grandfather was going to make it down to Earth safely. No, let me try. Jack had an idea. This is base. Over, he called up. All the grown-ups looked at him in disbelief. Wing Commander Bunting, reading you loud and clear, replied Grandpa. Current cruising altitude is 2,000 feet. Ground speed of 320 miles per hour. Have been circling all night, but no sign of enemy aircraft. Over. Then your mission is accomplished, sir. Return to base. Over, said Jack. Roger that. From foot of the church, the ground below looked up in incredulity as the old man, still sat on the church spire, made an imaginary landing. Grandpa was convinced he was behind the controls of his fighter plane. He even mimed turning the engine off. Next he slid open the invisible canopy and climbed out. Dad closed his eyes. He was so scared his father was going to fall. But he couldn't watch a moment longer. Jack's eyes were wide open in terror. He didn't dare blink. The old man clambered down the spire onto the roof. For a moment he stood still on the narrow peak. Then without a care in the world he walked along it. But the piece of lead that he had dislodged on his way up had left a dent in the roof. So after just a few paces, trip! Grandpa went flying through the air. No! Cried Jack. Dad! Shouted Dad. Ah! Screamed Mum. The Vicar and gravediggers looked on with grim fascination. The old man slid down the roof, dislodging some of the more Vicar's precious lead tiles along the way. Smash! Smash! As they crashed on the ground, Grandpa hurtled over the roof edge. Whoosh! But after that moment, without making a fuss, the old man managed to grab out onto the guttering and came to a stop. His thin legs swayed in the night air as his slippers bumping against the stained glass window of the church. Careful of my window, shouted the Vicar. Hold on, Dad, called out Jack's father. I told you we should have called the police, added Mum unhelpfully. I have a christening at the church first thing tomorrow, explained Reverend Hogg. We won't be scrubbing bits of your grandfather off the ground all morning. Dad, Dad, cried out Jack's father. Jack thought for a moment. If he didn't act fast, his poor grandpa was sure to plummet to his death. He won't respond being said that, said the boy. Let me. Jack then projected his voice once more. Wing Commander, this is Squadron Leader. Ah, there you are, old boy, Grandpa called down from the guttering. Jack's pretend name had now become real to the old man. Grandpa believed the boy was a fellow airman. Just make your way along the aircraft's wing to your right, called up Jack. Grandpa paused for a moment before answering. Roger that. A moment he started shimmying his hands along the guttering. Jack was approached unexpected. Yet it worked. Jack's approach was utterly unexpected. Yet it worked. You had to enter Grandpa's world if you wanted to get through to him. Jack spotted a drain pipe running down the side of the church. Now, Wing Commander, you see that pole to your right? Shouted the boy. Yes, Squadron Leader. Hold on tight and slowly slide down it, sir. Both Mum and Dad gasped and covered their mouths as Grandpa swung like an acrobat from guttering to the pipe. For a moment, all was still as he held on tight at the top. However, his weight must have been too much for the pipe. Suddenly, it came loose from the wall and started rapidly bending downwards. Creak went the pipe. Had Jack said the wrong thing? Was he now sending his beloved grandfather hurtling towards the ground? No! Cried the boy. Chapter 6. A Runaway Bulldozer. Okay, that's the end of today's episode. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe.
Do it now.
Also, remember to click the bell so you are notified of all of our videos. Well, that's
The
it.
bell's right here. Click it now. Like and subscribe. This thing is